Welcome to Haruka's backstory. She's otherwise known as Sleeping Beauty. We will explain that a little later. Some quick info about this character. At the beginning of the story, she is age 30. Her height is 5'11". Her occupation is a part-time singer, part-time cashier, and part-time student. She has 0 siblings. Her sexual orientation is heterosexual. She lives in Toronto, Canada. Her favorite pastime is watching TV with her kids. Her ethnicity is unknown, and her sculpt is Assume Dia. Haruka, otherwise known as Project Sleeping Beauty, was born in a lab. She does not know any of her origins. Haruka grew up in government captivity deep in a secret lab. Haruka has the ability to dream walk. This allows her spirit to wander wherever she pleases when she's asleep, allowing her to see things that she normally couldn't. For example, she can enter a bank vault without being detected or stopped. The government wished to use her as a tactic of war because she could go into enemy territory without ever being detected. However, the ability is difficult to master, and it took her years to be able to control where her spirit goes when she sleeps. One day, a very rich and powerful man took over the project and had plans for Haruka to be used for personal use. Her lab was transferred from Japan to France. Haruka's life quality did not improve with this change. Day in and day out, Haruka wished that she could have met her parents and that she could be free like the people she saw in her dreams. Haruka discards her horrible lab rat life and says her life truly began when the white-haired god crashed through her artificial sky. This god was actually a revenge-driven vampire named Zero. He just happened to be passing through. Haruka begged him to break her out of her containment cell, and in return, she would help him in any way she could. Zero wasn't interested at first, but when she told him about her ability, he took her with him. Haruka became quickly infatuated with Zero and quickly fell in love with him. However, her feelings were not returned initially. Zero thought Haruka was a boy due to her malnourishment, lack of hair, and masculine features. As Haruka became more healthy, grew hair, and her figure returned, she managed to convince Zero she was a female. Zero wasn't interested at first, but as time passed, they became a couple. The day finally came for Zero to have his revenge. He battled his enemy for a lengthy amount of time, and then all went silent. Haruka entered the area and discovered Zero's enemy was slain, but Zero also was defeated. Haruka was heartbroken, and to make things worse, she discovered she was pregnant, not long after his death. Haruka struggled to find a full-time minimum wage job, but was able to acquire a part-time job at a grocery store. She used the funds from her job and what Zero had left her to prepare for her baby. She was frightened. She didn't know how the child would come out or what it would look like. She did as much research as she could, but only found this. 9 months later, Haruka gave birth to not one, but 2 baby girls, Adeline and Madeline. The girls appeared to be human and did not display any vampire characteristics. This surprised Haruka, but she went along with it. When Adeline was age 2, she was diagnosed with severe epilepsy. This became a lot more stressful for Haruka. She struggled to handle a minimum wage job, 2 kids, especially since one of them had special needs. To handle all the medical needs of Adeline, Haruka started singing part-time at a bar for some extra cash. Haruka could only describe her life as exhausting. When the twins aged 4 and started going to school, Haruka managed to get into a program that allowed her herself to go to school and get a better job. She ended up in the class of Willow Williams. The two developed a good relationship throughout the year, and Willow introduced her to his friend Charles, who in turn introduced Haruka to RP Incorporated. Haruka knew the company all too well from her past adventures with Zero, and knew she had to get herself to the head of the company. It took her a few months, but she met the son of Zeto's former arch-enemy, Richard. Once being a vampire child himself, Richard explained the expectations Haruka should have as the twins grow. Richard pointed out that Adeline's human side was deteriorating because of her seizures, and eventually Adeline would die if she wasn't turned into a full vampire by age maturity. Richard assured Haruka that she has time to think things through, because currently her vampire blood heals her half-human side as quickly as the seizures can damage her. Madeline also started to show urges to feed on humans that Haruka didn't know how to control. Richard gave her some simple tricks. Haruka is faced with a hard decision. Does she want Adeline to become a full vampire, the creature her father despised, hated, and wanted to destroy? Could she let her little girl die if she does not change? Could she force Madeline to fight her true nature just so she can have a somewhat normal child?